Violet bolted upright, shoving herself away from Alaric like she'd touched a hot stove. Her brain felt scrambled, trying to piece together what had just happened. The last thing she remembered was struggling to stay awake in class. Looking around, Violet realized with a groan that school was out, and she'd been asleep the whole time. Who knew how many classes she'd missed? She glanced at Alaric, who was giving her a look that practically screamed, "You're welcome. Don't even go there," Violet said flatly. Then she noticed a small, glistening stain on his jacket. Her stomach dropped. "Sorry about the drool. Just the drool," she emphasized. Alaric didn't say a word, just stared at her like he was trying to read her mind. His silence was unnerving, and Violet felt her cheeks getting hot. Annoyed and embarrassed, she jumped up to escape the awkwardness. But before she could move, Alaric's hand shot out, grabbed her arm, and pulled her back down. "What's the big idea?" Violet snapped, glaring at him. "We have unfinished business," Alaric said calmly but firmly. "I believe you were about to tell me about a certain dream?" Violet frowned and shook her head. "Nope, nothing to tell." "Fine," Alaric said, leaning back. His voice hardened. "We'll do this the hard way then. But unlike Griffin, who you can manipulate with your fake crying, that trick won't work on me." Violet's jaw dropped. He knew. Her heart pounded, and her cheeks burned with humiliation as she remembered the Griffin incident. Okay, so her tears might have started fake, but they'd become real. Not that Alaric would ever understand that. She gasped as Alaric started taking off his gloves. When his bare hands were finally visible, sparks of lightning crackled between his fingers, dancing like tiny threads of energy. The air around them felt charged, thick with tension. Violet's throat tightened as she watched him control the electric currents, the light twisting and snapping like a living thing. Violet stared, barely breathing, both fascinated and scared. "What the heck are you doing?" she asked, trying to sound brave. Alaric pulled a tendril of electricity from his palm like it was a string. The lightning twisted and coiled like a snake, humming with power. Its pale blue glow cast creepy shadows across his face, making him look dangerous. Violet flinched when the lightning got close, the static making the hairs on her arms stand up. She looked from the lightning to Alaric's face, but his eyes were glazed over, focused on the current in his hand. "Do you know what electricity does to the human body, Violet Purple?" he asked, his voice low and menacing, each word sending a shiver down her spine. Violet swallowed, unable to speak. "It travels through the body faster than you can imagine," he continued, still focused on the lightning. "The nerves? Fried instantly. Pain receptors? Overloaded before you can even scream." The lightning flickered closer, crackling. Violet shrank back, pressing against her chair. "And the heart," Alaric continued, his voice ice cold, "isn't designed to handle that kind of shock. It seizes up, stops. A human has seconds, maybe a minute, but a werewolf?" He shrugged casually, like he was talking about the weather. "We have a better chance of surviving." "Why? Our bodies heal. Yours doesn't." Violet's chest tightened. Was he serious? Or was this just another one of those twisted mind games Alaric and the other alphas loved to play? His expression was blank, his pale blue eyes cold and distant, like he was just stating facts. As if to prove his point, the lightning danced closer, its glow reflected in her terrified eyes. Alaric's gaze locked onto hers, the coldness thawing slightly. "Now," he said, his voice smooth but firm. "Tell me about the dream. Everything." Violet's hands clenched. For a second, she thought about telling him where he could go. Why did he even care about her stupid dream? But the electric hum, the sharp sting of heat in the air, and the intensity in Alaric's eyes stopped her. She gulped. "Fine, I'll tell you." Alaric seemed satisfied, pulling the lightning back into his hand, where it disappeared with a soft snap. He leaned back, arms crossed, a smug look on his face. "Good choice, Violet," he said, his voice still laced with warning. "Now start talking." Violet glared at him like she was trying to burn a hole through his skull. Fine, if he wanted to know about her private dreams so badly, she'd tell him. Taking a deep breath, she started, "It's true. I did dream about Asher." "Wait." Alaric cut her off. "What led to the dream? Was it one of his mind manipulations, or did you conjure him up on your own?" I don't know. Violet hesitated. I can't exactly tell, especially after he... She trailed off, realizing she'd said too much. Alaric's sharp gaze didn't miss a thing. After he did what, Violet? He pressed. Violet's heart pounded, the memory flashing in her mind. A wave of heat washing over her. She swallowed hard. He caught me trying to escape the school. And then he punished me. Alaric leaned forward, his voice dropping lower, a mix of curiosity and something almost like sympathy. And how exactly did he punish you? Violet's breath hitched, her palms sweating as she fought to suppress the heat that was building inside her. Her voice wavered. He spanked me until I wanted him. He kissed me, touched me, and I liked it, Violet continued, her voice husky, the words hanging in the air like a shared secret. Alaric was visibly taken aback by her candid confession. He swallowed hard, the movement of his Adam's apple a clear sign of her words' impact. He'd definitely wandered into uncharted territory. While Alaric struggled to maintain his cool, indifferent facade, Violet knew she'd gotten to him. The tension in his jaw, the almost imperceptible stiffening of his shoulders, gave him away. The satisfaction of unsettling him was a small victory, but one she planned to savor. She wanted to see how far she could push. Her eyes traced the line of his throat, lingering on the sharp angle of his Adam's apple. A fleeting, reckless thought flashed through her mind. How it would feel to press her lips against it, to nibble gently with her teeth just to see his reaction. Would he freeze up like now? Or would he tilt his head back, giving in? Whoa! Where did that come from? She mentally shook herself, pushing the dangerous image aside, her face flushing slightly. She was losing control and needed to get a grip. Still, looking back at Alaric, she couldn't deny the thrill of watching him squirm. He'd asked for details after all, and she hadn't even gotten started. Violet had no idea what possessed her to say it, but she purred, a wicked smile playing on her lips. Man, Asher was so good with his fingers. That's enough, Alaric snapped. Despite his icy demeanor, a noticeable blush crept up his cheeks. The contrast between his flushed face and his cold, stormy eyes was almost comical. I told you to skip the dirty details, he growled, clearly irritated, and tell me if anything important happened. Did Asher do anything else to you? Did he force you to dream about him? Violet tilted her head, that infuriating smirk still in place. That's the thing, Lightning Boy. You can't separate the two. Everything that happened between us was intense, even the important stuff you're dying to know. Alaric scowled, his frustration evident. Don't play games with me, Violet.
Wait, that's not the end. You've just had a free taste. Now get the full story on the Pocket FM app, link in description. Check out our next video and playlist, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.